two files, that is the CodeIgniter version and CodeIgniter autocomplete. Get them and copy it into your D drive. So keep them ready and we'll proceed with that. So there is this autocomplete which is not provided by the CodeIgniter. So this will help you in the autocompletion. So when you put a dot, the NetBeans will be able to help you out with that. So I hope you have copied the CodeIgniter zip file into your D drive. Double click on it to open that thing. So unzip that. Now go to your project, unzip it and keep it. I'll get back to that. Go to the project and in the project go for the files. So go to the files, not the projects. Go to files because I want to open the file. Go to the files and then under the file, not under the project. So go to the file. The file is not visible. Go to Windows and search for files. Control 2 is the shortcut. So once you have the file, open this file and try to open the folders. So if you try to look at the properties of the project itself, it's going to come like this. So if you have right clicked on it and go to the properties of the project that you have created, it's going to appear like this. I want to go to this location, that is the project location, wherever it is. So go to the properties. So first go to the files here and then right click on the project folder, go to the properties and then select the folder where you are saving it. Usually it is exam something. Control C to copy it. So copy that location. Go to the Explorer, start the Windows Explorer and in the Windows Explorer just copy that location. So exam htdoc and something. Press enter, you are there in the project location. So this is the project location and you are there in the same project location. You need to copy this folders there. Okay. Go to the physical location where you have saved the file and now go to the WinZip or WinRAR. So it may be WinRAR or it may be WinZip, whatever that is installed on your machine. Go to the WinZip or WinRAR. Control A to select everything. Click inside here. Control A to select everything. So select everything. So click inside WinRAR or WinZip. Control A to select everything. Click and drag and just leave it over here. That is the location where you have created your project. So you are just extracting, in other words, you are just extracting all your CodeIgniter files directly to the location of your projects where your project is saved. And the final thing it's going to say that I want to replace this index.php. Click yes to change the index.php. So now what you have done is you have extracted all the CodeIgniter framework library files and all the related files into your project. So your project now contains all the CodeIgniter files. If you go to the NetBeans now and the dialog box is still there, just close that dialog box. And now if you look at your project, you will notice that your project has other files which got copied. Now that's not the end of it. You need to copy the one other file into this location. Let's go to the project now. Now if you look at this project, go to this project, and if you look at this project, you see application system user guide. User guide is the one that contains all the description. And if you go to the files here, you notice that 1, 2, 3 folders are there. If you go to the files here, you notice that one extra folder is there. So you notice that you have application, systems, user guide, and ND projects. This is a folder that is created by the NetBeans to maintain the project status. It is not really required by the CodeIgniter, but it is required by the NetBeans. You need to copy that file here. There is one extra file that you have to get it, and you have to copy it in this folder. Let's go to the Windows Explorer. If you have not closed it, go to the Windows Explorer where you have copied all your folders. So that is in this location, examp .ci simple calculator. That's a physical location where your project resides. Now this is what I'm talking about. There is a folder called as ND projects. This folder is required by the NetBeans. It's not required by the CodeIgniter. And you need to copy the file inside this folder. So I'm going to open this folder. So my location now becomes C:examp simple calculator ND project. Now I need to get one extra file. This is a helper file, not really required by the NetBeans. Not really required by the CodeIgniter, but it's required by the NetBeans. Now I want to get that file over here, which is the file that you are going to get it here. Now if you go to the drive where you have copied it, I told you that you need to copy one more folder called as CI autocomplete. Open this one, and you notice that there is a PHP file. So this CI autocomplete folder that I told you to copy it from the essential has one extra file, CI autocomplete.php. This is required by the NetBeans to help you with the autocomplete. So if you have not copied this, go to the essential, get this folder. Remember, I don't want the folder. If you want, you can even copy that folder itself. But I'm going to go and get this one, CI autocomplete. I think you can get this folder itself. There's no harm in getting the folder. I think it's going to go and just drag it over here. CI autocomplete. Get it inside the ND project. Just get that thing. This is not provided by the CodeIgniter. This is required by the NetBeans. So get that CI autocomplete and just paste it here. Now if this may work, actual procedure is you're supposed to get it outside. Let me see whether it really takes that. So get it here, and that's all you need to do. Do not close this one. I need it because I'm not very sure whether if you put it inside a folder, whether it really takes something. So let me keep it as it is. Let's go to the NetBeans now and let's proceed with the project. This part that you are doing is not really required by the CodeIgniter. It's just a workaround so that it will help you. You can work with the NetBeans. Okay, so let's run this one. Let's give it a try. See to it that your Apache is running, and let's give it a try. And if everything is proper, you must be able to say that welcome file that was there, that you've seen during the morning session. So you must get this one. If everything is proper, you will get a welcome page from the CodeIgniter. Let's go back to the project. So in the project, you will notice that you have a user guide. At any time, you can use this user guide and you can get the details. So in the user guide, you have the index.html. If you just run that index.html, you get the full-fledged user guide for CodeIgniter, and it's going to give you the entire detail how to work with the CodeIgniter. So you get the full details. You can click on the table of content to get the details. So it comes out with everything. You don't need any extra support as such, so that 2MB also contains the details about this. So I'm not going to go with to the user guide as of now. So I'm going to just close that user guide, and I've told you that we will be working on the application. So let's open up this application, and we have already a controller. So let me right click on it and add a new PHP file under controller. So I'm going to add a new PHP file under controller, and I'm talking about the controller which is there inside the application. So right click on it and say new PHP file, and I'm going to call this as small case calculator. Finish. And now let's create a controller inside this. Now the name must match. So I'm going to start with the class, and I'm going to call this as capital calculator, C capital. So this is a convention, and it extends out of CI underscore controller. So this calculator extends out of a controller. I'll come back to the controller. We need a model which will perform all the calculations. So the controller, we are supposed to make the controller plural. It's all right. So we are supposed to make it as plural. It's all right. It's a convention. It's not a requirement. So I have a calculator here. So let's go and add a model. I will add a model first and then link the controller with the model. So let me go here. And let me go to the model now. So I'm going to add a model. So under models, I'm going to right click under this model, and I'm going to say new PHP file. So this is under model. I'm adding a model under the folder model. So I'm going to add a new PHP file here, and I'm going to call this as arithmetic. You can call anything you want, but to say to it that the first letter is small case. Click finish, and I'm going to create a class here, class A capital now, arithmetic, and it extends CI underscore model. So we got the model, and what is there in the model? Model has some methods, and I'm going to do a basic arithmetic calculation. So let's start a public function. So I'm going to say public function, and I'm going to call this as add. It takes two numbers, say n and m, and it's going to return the sum of n and sum of m. So it's as simple as that. So very simple function that's going to add two numbers. I'm not going to waste my time in repeating it for the others. So I'm going to just copy that function and paste it all over again. I'll call it as subtraction, and I'm going to perform a subtraction here. And then in the same way I will do it for division and the others. So I will do the multiplication, and then the multiplication over here, and the next one is the division, and let's perform the division. So I have the functions here that performs all the calculation. So add, subtract, multiply, and divide. This is what the model is doing. So some number crunching work is done by the model, and we are supposed to use the controller and activate an appropriate method within the model. You can have more than one model, but I'm going to just use one model, and one model can call other model and so on so forth. You can build the chain in any way you want. So we have a model ready now. Let's go ahead and let's go to the controller. Now I'm going to go to the controller, and the controller, I don't have any default method here. So I'm going to go to the controller, and I'm going to add a public method, and I'm going to say public function, and I'm going to say sum. It takes two parameters, let's say, and I'm initializing it with some value, and b equal to say 0. These are the initial value if the values are not provided. Now what's that I am supposed to do here? I am first supposed to activate the model. How do I do that thing? So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this dot load, and then I'm going to say model. So load the model and specify the name of the model. Name of the model is not in capitals, it's the name of the file. So that's why the convention makes a lot of difference. So you have to have the small case arithmetic, and you are not putting .php there. So this statement says that load the model, and then you are just treating it as a variable. Once you have this model ready with you, you just go to the model. I gave the name as arithmetic, and then I'm going to call the method inside it. I think that method that the spelling is proper, I suppose. The method that I have here is the add, and it's going to return some value to me. So I'm going to say the result. Whatever the result that is provided by it, I'm going to assign it there. So I'm activating the model, I'm passing the values that was provided by the user to the model, and I'm asking the model to perform something, and I got the result back. Now I'm supposed to show the result to the user. How do I do that thing? I'm not supposed to do it in the controller. Let me go to the project again. This time I'm going to touch the view. So I'm supposed to add a view here. You notice that the view could be an HTML file or the view could be a PHP file. This is not a source file, it's a ordinary HTML file. So let's go to the view here. Again, I am touching everything in the application, not on the system area. So this is my application, so whatever I do, it will come under the application folder. So let me go to this view, right click on it, and I'm going to say not the new PHP file. Instead, I'm going to say it's a new PHP web page. That's the view. It's a web page. So I'm going to go to the PHP web page, and I'm going to say edit result. You can give anything, any name of your choice. View, arithmetic view, anything. It's up to you what you give. It's up to you. So let me finish it up. This is going to be an ordinary PHP file, and I'm supposed to activate this view. So let me activate this view. So in the controller, I'm supposed to activate this view. Let me go to the controller. The name of the controller was the calculator. I'll go to the calculator. I have loaded the model, and I have performed some calculation on the model. Now I'm going to say this dot load, and I'm going to say view. I want to load a view, and I'm supposed to give the name of the view, and the name of the view that I gave was arithmetic result. Now the problem is, if I run this one, what is going to happen is the view will only show up. I am not passing the result to the view. I'm supposed to pass this result that I obtained after doing the calculation to the view. How do I do it? I'm not going to pass one variable. Instead, I'm going to create a array, and I'm going to say result, and then assign the result to it. So this is what I'm passing. So one of the element, this is an associative array. One of the element has the name result, and I'm passing the actual result. Then I'm going to pass one more thing over here to the data. So I'm going to say data, and I'm going to say operation, and I'm going to say addition. This is a constant string. So this is the addition, that is some operation that I'm trying to pass. So I have two values here. One is the result of the calculation that was done by the model. So model has performed some calculation and it has given me the result. That I am storing it inside a array called as data, and I have a constant string that I want to pass to the other side. So how do I pass that thing? So I said load a view, and I gave the name of the view, and then I am saying that I am passing the data to the view. So I'm saying load the view, and then I'm saying I'm passing the array to this view, so that data is passed to the view. You notice that I'm passing the array there, and I'm not passing the individual result and operation or this kind of thing. I just pass the entire array there. And in the view, let me go to the view, and in the view I'm supposed to use it. So how do I use it? In the view, I'm not going to say data dot something. I'm not going to say this. This is not going to work. What I am doing now is, even though I have passed the data, result, this kind of thing, I treat this result itself as a variable. So I'm going to use an echo statement, and I'm going to say result of dollar operation. Now what is this dollar operation? Who passed this dollar operation? Now if you notice the controller, one of the value that you are passing is the operation. So even though it is an index in the array, but that itself is treated as a variable, direct variable. So operation is the one that I'm passing, and I'm saying that result of operation is dollar result. You notice, it's a strange thing. You can just put it in single quote, in double quotes. So result of operation is the result. So if you notice, if you compare this operation and result, these are the indexes or the indices of the array that are getting passed, but you get it directly over here. So let's go here. So this is what I need to do. I'm going to save everything. So save everything, and then go to the index.php, and then activate this, and the name is the calculator, and the method is sum, parameter let's say 10 and 20. Press enter. You must get result of addition is 30. So you call the controller, you call the method inside the controller, you pass the parameter. I'm going to quickly complete the other methods. So just to make it proper, I'm going to just copy this entire thing in the controller, and I'm going to paste it. So this time I'm going to say this is sub, and you're going to call this subtraction method, and the name is the subtraction. In the same way, I'm going to go with the division. I'm just copy pasting the same method, and I'm going to say it there. I think multiply, and the name that I'm going to call is the multiplication. You must be careful with the division, because if you supply both the parameter as 0, 0, it's going to end up in a trouble. So I'm going to say multiplication, and the last one is the division. And what I'm going to do in the division is, if the values are not provided, I'm going to state that the second parameter is 1, so that it will not end up in division by 0 error. So you notice that once you create it, it's all done. Just the repetition, and all the methods are very quickly. You can access any of the method. You can go by here, and you can then say that I want to call the subtraction method. So I'm going to say I want to call this sub, and you must get the subtraction. And if you say I want to call the multiplication, you must be able to get this multiplication. And if you say I want to call the division, and you must be able to get the division. One thing you will notice here is this URL is more readable as compared to the other URL that you are creating. It's more readable. You notice that it is the index.php followed by the controller that you want to activate, then the name of the method, and then followed by the parameter that you are passing. It's very easy to remember. So there is nothing called as PHP. And by the way, you may be thinking, can you get rid of this thing? Can I hide this index.php, the front controller? The answer is yes. Not directly to the CodeIgniter, but it is possible by using the htaccess. I'm going to talk about it slightly later. So you can make the Apache